Hi, I'm Patrick Pfeiffer, co-owner and president of BC Creative.
And I'm Alex Michelle, media specialist at BC Creative.
Whenever I attend any webinars, I'm always looking for those little golden nuggets of information that we can use to help our business. So with event planners in mind, we've put together this webinar series on digital marketing and web techniques to help you understand some key components in the new digital age. In this series, we will be exploring responsive websites, content management systems, Facebook advertising, SEO secrets for event planners, and implementing an effective newsletter strategy.
We'd like to thank Meeting Jobs for hosting this webinar series, and we hope you can find some golden nuggets that you can use for your event planning company. So thanks for joining us. We've set aside some time at the end of the presentation to answer all your questions. Please chat your questions throughout the webinar, and we'll get to as many as we can at the end.
This entire webinar is less than 30 minutes. So stick around, because at the end of each webinar in this series, we're going to give away a $25 iTunes gift card. We hope you enjoy our webinar series.
Today we're going to answer the question, what is a responsive website? A website that is responsive will adjust its content to fit the parameters of the user's device to provide optimal viewing experience and navigation. As you can see in this diagram, the content in a responsive website remains the same across multiple platforms. What changes is the way this content is both organized and displayed. But why is this important for meeting planners or for any other website owner who gains leads through web traffic? Well, if your website is not only viewable on every device, but also easy to navigate, it is very likely that your retention rate will increase significantly due to increased user experience. Almost half of mobile users have reported difficulty of navigation when attempting to visit a web page on their mobile device. And I'm sure that you can think of several sites that you have visited in the past that were confusing, hard to read, or simply did not work. Now, why don't we take a look at an example of a responsive website and how to identify one. The first example I'm going to show is of a responsive website on a desktop computer at meetings-conventions.com. The easiest way to determine if a website is responsive or non-responsive is to grab the edge of your browser with your mouse and shrink your screen. As you shrink your screen, a responsive website's content, which includes any copy or graphics, will readjust to fit the newly set parameters. Non-responsive websites' content will simply stay in place as you shrink your browser, cutting off content from view. As I reduce the size of the browser, text will automatically adjust and photos will jump. These jumps are called breakpoints that are programmed by a web developer who anticipates that the website will be viewed at certain widths. Breakpoints only occur when there is a width change, not a height change. When there is excess in content that exceeds width, it is then accessed by scrolling vertically. No matter the size of your computer screen, the content will expand or contract. Every website, not just responsive websites, have navigation menus that allow users to reach every part of the website. It's important to have an organized website navigation menu because this will determine how users will interact with your site and whether they will enjoy the experience and whether they will ultimately want to return. This is a very extensive website with several pages, but they are mapped out well in their navigation menu. Again, this page has been made to readjust. Each of the video thumbnails get smaller as I shrink my screen. Next, I'll show how this website is viewed on a smartphone. This is the exact website we just took a look at, but now we're going to see how the desktop version is rearranged on the iPhone. When we compare the screenshot on the left of the desktop view to the iPhone view, it's obvious that less content is immediately viewed on the iPhone. The same content can still be accessed, however, and the same navigation menu exists to guide us through every part of the website. All the content has been squeezed into a long column that can easily be found by swiping your finger up and down. If any of you have ever used Facebook on your smartphone, it is similar to the way your Facebook feed is organized, allowing you to scroll down your feed and read recent posts. Convenient pop-up menus also appear when making a multiple choice selection. The more content present on your desktop computer's website version, the longer this column will be. The website's code includes if-then statements, which tells the device's browser to display the website in a specific way when certain conditions are met. That is why in this next example, which shows the iPad view of this website, the website is subject to new conditions, which then tells it to display differently than before. Now we can see that the home page on the iPad view has slightly more information viewable than the iPhone homepage view, but still slightly less content is viewable than on the desktop view on the left. Again, all parts can still be accessed either by selecting the drop-down menu that shows all the pages of the website or by scrolling up or down. Because the iPad screen is fairly large, some websites can get away with a non-responsive site, but next we'll see how the last few examples of responsive design on the desktop, iPhone, and iPad differ from non-responsive design on the same devices. This next example is of a non-responsive website from a desktop view. Again, I'm going to select the edge of my browser and slowly reduce its size to prove whether this site is in fact non-responsive. As I near the edge of the text, you can see that it does not readjust as I shrink the screen. Content is now cut off from view. However, these scroll bars appear that help to navigate the site when at this size. Unlike the responsive site in my previous example, the photos do not increase in size when my screen is made larger. This can decrease the overall user experience on your website. As a meeting planner, you want to create a great experience on your website because it will reflect on your ability to create that same experience in all your meetings. In this example, I'm going to show a meeting planner's website that is non-responsive. This website is very clean and organized. The only problem is that if I happen to be viewing this on a mobile device, it's difficult to see all the website's content, so it forces the user to gesture in and out in order to view specific locations of the web page. This goes to show that just because a website can be viewed on a mobile device does not necessarily make it responsive. As we navigate and explore this website, notice the user has to zoom in and out repeatedly in order to read the content on the website. This increases the total time needed to navigate the site, which reduces overall user experience. As consumers, we expect everything yesterday. Speed and quality are demanded, and users won't stick around if your website requires more time to use than the consumer is willing to spare. A study by Nielsen has shown that 32% of consumers will start abandoning sites between 1 and 5 seconds. Increasing the time it takes the user to receive information will also increase its abandonment rate, also called bounce rate. Lowering the bounce rate on your website starts with content organization and responsive web design and page load time. We will describe in detail how to achieve a faster loading web page in our future webinar, 7 Search Engine Optimization Secrets for Meeting Planners. Here we can view the exact same website from an iPad's interface. Because of the iPad's larger screen size, a non-responsive website like this one may be hard to tell apart from a responsive site, and can almost appear as though it is responsive. However, as soon as you start to explore the site, you can see that it still does not readjust to fit the iPad's screen for optimal viewing, and the user must still zoom in and out in order to fully explore the content of the website. This contact form, for example, will be better and easier to see if its default position was here and the content on the right was shifted below. In this gallery section, a web developer might have set up breakpoints at this width so that photos would display in 2 columns instead of 3. This would eliminate the need for the user to zoom in to read the individual descriptions of each entry, decreasing the total time needed to navigate the website. If I were a meeting planner, I would definitely include a portfolio or gallery section similar to this one, featuring my best events with high definition imagery and video. A prospective client is more likely to convert if they can see your past work rather than just read a description of it. So what is a mobile website, and how is it different than a responsive or non-responsive website? As I showed earlier, a responsive website displays the same exact information, content, and graphics as its desktop version. The only thing that changes is the way it is organized on the device you happen to be using. A mobile website is a completely separate version of your website that is designed to be user-friendly when viewed from a mobile device. A dedicated mobile site generally lacks the majority of the main website's content and may also have a slightly different site structure and layout. As we compare this site's desktop view to the mobile view, you can tell it's a mobile website. The content on the mobile view has been reduced significantly on the mobile version to 4 main navigation areas. The mobile version features the most important aspects of the desktop version. A mobile website, like a responsive website, is designed for ease of use on a mobile device. The only drawback to a dedicated mobile site is that it is a separate site, meaning you must update your desktop version and your mobile version if you ever need to make changes. Both responsive and mobile devices are made for optimal viewing and navigation, but responsive is better for the business owner, meeting planner, or other industry professional who would rather manage one website than 2 separate ones. Perhaps you are a meeting planner who does not own a website. While there are hundreds of marketing tools that you can use to develop your business, a website is one of the most important ways you can reach your audience. If you are a planner who owns a website, but not a responsive one, now is the time to change. With the increase of mobile users and search queries made on mobile devices, all industries' websites will soon look to either responsive or mobile web design to better serve their customers. There are several benefits to responsive web design, but one of the biggest reasons to go responsive is that Google encourages everyone to do so. We will get into Google search engine optimization in another webinar, but it is important to follow the best practices from Google so you can increase your website's search rankings. A case study done by Blast Advanced Media has some interesting findings on the effect of responsive web design. Their client, Think Tank Photo, noticed by using Google Analytics that their traffic from mobile devices made up about 13% of their total traffic. Blast Advanced Media identified a need to adapt the site to a responsive layout. Here are the following changes that Think Tank Photo experienced in website traffic for the following year after implementing responsive web design. Over a 188% increase in revenue from Black Friday through Cyber Monday in 2013 compared to 2012. Transactions from users on smartphones and tablets increased more than 96% in the last year. Mobile users viewed more pages. Page views increased 224%. Bounce rate decreased by 42%. Currently, roughly 1 in 8 websites is non-responsive. This means that in most cases, if you have a responsive website, you now have a competitive advantage over other players in your industry. Making a small change, such as the presentation of your website, can have a huge impact with lasting results, especially if you are the only business in your market space with a responsive layout. Now that we understand the difference between responsive, non-responsive, and mobile web design, we'll get more in depth with why this is so important to the meetings and event planning industry. Often, the first point of contact with a company is the company's website. When considering your services, customers will want to know more about you, and this is where sleek design and interesting facts about your company can show the best parts of your personality and your brand. If you have a website, not only will people easily discover your business, but they will be able to find your contact information, buy products from you, and give you feedback. In today's world, many people won't take a business seriously until they've had a chance to look at a company's website and check it out. If you don't have a website yet, it's important to get one. If you have a website but it's non-responsive, it is something to consider with the increase in mobile users. According to Google Keyword Planner, there are nearly 7,000 searches for the keyword meeting planner each month, and almost 300,000 searches for related terms such as event planner and international meeting planner. That's a lot of potential clients searching for your service. So now you may be asking yourselves, how much does it cost? And like many things, the answer to this question is, it depends. It depends on the complexity of your website, such as the number of pages, the current design and structure, and the amount of content like text and graphics. So, responsive web design may cost anywhere from several $100s to several $1,000s. If you've ignored previous warnings and your business isn't taking advantage of responsive web design right now or planning it in the very near future, you may be in danger of losing some business in 2014. There are 2 exceptions to this rule. 1, you don't depend on your website to stay in business, or 2, you have no competitors. If either of these apply to you, then you're probably okay with your current website. But if your company depends on its website enough that losing the business it brings to you would be a serious blow, getting a responsive website before the end of the year should be your #1 online marketing goal.
Thanks for watching our webinar. Check meetingjobs.com to see dates for our upcoming webinars and what we will be talking about in each one. We'd like to thank Meeting Jobs again for hosting this series and look forward to the next one. If you would like to contact us, please visit us at www.bc-creative.com/meetingjobs. Mention this webinar series, and we will be happy to evaluate your website, give you a free consultation, and provide you with some great tips and tricks.
Questions are now open for about 5 minutes or so. At the end, we'll announce the winner of the iTunes gift card. Enter live chat now, and we'll answer as many questions as we can. Again, thanks for attending the webinar.